Yes guys, welcome to episode 6 of my Honda Ruckus double build series. We've got a GY6 swap, we've got a hot lap exhaust from Japan, we've got more power. Let's go for a ride. Yo, got the big mic out on that. Lee is a top guy, done this out of the kindness of his heart. Spent the whole weekend together, put me up in his house, I slept on his couch. I woke up to a dog cocking its leg on me.
What the dog doing?
And weeing on my bed sheet. Lee's missus had to put my stuff through the wash. She was like, I'm so sorry. It was a great weekend and we didn't film it, but me and Lee went out and straight out the box, this bike was doing 59, 60 miles an hour, straight out of the box. I've got it to 64 downhill with a wind behind me, but straight, it just runs perfect. He just knows exactly what he's doing. Hello. God, I look old.
You look old. I've got more grey in my beard.
As you can see, we're back at Ruckstyle UK with the Ruckus legend, Lee.
Hello.
So we've got the tyre on, waiting for that to bead off, and Lee came up to Killer Wipers HQ a while back and threw in a GY6 in a day.
And we've got it turned over.
And it turns over.
You've been taking videos of me when I'm
sucking your fingers. Well, we've just had a Five Guys. Shout out my man on the scooter in the rain. We've put the plate on the front, pegs on, kickstand, small fast things, mount and shock. And then Lee's been working on sorting out the wiring loom. The tyre's beaded, that's now on, and we've mounted the wheel as well. So what are we on with next, dude? We're going on with the carb, was it?
Yeah, I want to tidy up the back end, and then we can forget about that, this front end, because there's a bit more work involved in it.
Yeah, man.
Because you've got all the wiring, got the little cage to fit on, and we've got to do a bit of parts diving, haven't we?
So basically, I sold my Mark II Golf, and I had 2 big boxes of Ruckus parts, and I'm pretty certain I've given one of the boxes full of parts to the guy who bought my Mark II. So, yeah. Lee's going to see what he's got in his scrap pile, and we'll, yeah, carry on building. It's warm. Me and Lee are the most ADHD people, I think, in the world. So we kind of were just working on this original bike, and then the engine mount was slightly bent because we're using the small fast things one, which was on this bike, but then we ended up running TRS billet one, so we're going GY6. So we've just knocked that out. We're going to drill some holes here. We're going to just bolt this extension bar up. This is a hybrid we did with the small fast things mount, and then this is actually off a Mojo. Is it Mojo Customs? It's MC, yeah, Mojo Customs. We just use this centre section. Yeah, usual small fast things. I think it bolts to the outside and doesn't look the best. It just really needs like a T piece like this, so it looks much cleaner. So yeah, Lee is sweating.
Yeah, thanks for that.
No worries, man. I appreciate you.
It's well muggy doing it.
Yeah. Me and Lee have just got absolutely carried away with this. We've not filmed actually that much. Registration plates on. Rewired the rear light to match the ATR harness. So there we go, that's the Chimera rear light. Carb, it's got a little inline filter. Luckily Lee had that knocking about again, because he's just like got parts for everything just knocking about. We've tidied the harness up a little bit underneath with loom tape, so it's all nice and neat and tidy under there. Started running a bit of sheathing along the main loom and run it down the right hand side of the bike. And then Lee's just tidying up all of the harness.
Just button everything up now. So the bike does start.
Yep, we've started it. It runs pretty much straight away.
We've just got to put all of this in place and cage it in. There's quite a lot of wiring here. I am shortening bits where I can.
Front light works. Everything works now, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the brake lights work.
So I think it's quite...
brake switches.
Super tidy under here. This is really cool as well. We put the check valve for the fuel right near the carb. Just so if you leave it for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, whatever, hopefully it should just fire straight up because the check valve's right next to the carb. The other Ruckus basically we've sidelined this just to get at least one of them done today. This one needs tyres on, loads of bits and bobs. Obviously, as I previously said, I've lost a few bits. I've got a box of stuff here. Lots and lots of work to do still, but we're getting there. She's built, we're tired, we've had pizza. We'll see you in the morning. Big progress. Engine's in, loom's in. Front end's been built up. I've not filmed anything because we've just been getting stuck in. These shocks I was just going to use to get it rolling. I'm obviously going to get some lowered ones, but we can't even get the bolt off the actual axle. Like the axle bolt out, it's a mess. And I think one of the shocks is a mess. I don't think that works. So yeah, and then this, I'm going to make this into, I'm going to put some wheels on it and use it as a little shop seat with wheels on. Probably never use it, it'll just be a...
Have you turned them out on them?
Yeah, oh yeah. So... massive shout out to Lee for basically getting us to this point now. So obviously took a trip down to Lee's at Ruckstyle UK. We've got the GY6 in, the hot lap exhausts on, which just finishes it for me. This build's pretty much complete now. I might change a few bits on the variator, try and get a few more miles per hour, but honestly at 64 miles an hour on the slanks, it nearly touching the floor, it's pretty scary. I'll be honest with you. Leanne's Ruckus, I've tried to basically get it started, but it won't fire over. I've charged the battery. I think there might be a grounding issue. I spoke to Lee via WhatsApp, sent him a video. He said check a couple of the grounds. I need to sort that out. That's also now got a brand new fuel tank, the same one. This was off AliExpress. I'll put a link in the description for these parts as well. I'll put the basically just off-piste one. These indicators, I had plastic versions and I've now got billet versions. So I'll link all of the parts that I've kind of put on these two bikes in the description. So if you want to buy them, you can do. I think these are brand new fuel tanks, like £60 each. They've got level sensors in and they've got extra capacity, which is cool. This other bike is like 95% complete. I ended up buying a brand new lock because I'd lost the keys and the barrel, and I bought brand new ones from the Ruck shop. So it's got brand new OEM keys, and then I ended up finding the lock and keys in a box the other day. It's just cool to see this bike rolling now. I think this bike's probably gonna be cooler than my own bike. I kind of like the purple with the tan sort of Vans grips. It's just cool. Having a 10-inch fatty rather than a 12-inch, I think it just looks meaner, if I'm honest. Colours turned out great. But yeah, that's so close. So in the next episode, now this one is finished, I'm gonna basically focus on building this second Ruckus. It's nearly there. I just want to get this one finished so they both run and fire up. I've just got to buy an exhaust for it. We're going to go with hot lap again. They're made in Japan to order, so they take about 6 weeks to be made, so I'm going to place an order for one of those soon. The other bike I have bought Billet Triple Tree, and I just need to buy some shocks, some lowered ones. So I think I might there's actually some ones on the Ruck shop at the moment which are even shorter, so I might put these onto Leanne's bike because she's probably not going to be riding it as much as I ride this, and I'm going to put the even lower drag shocks on this one, so I probably might get another 10mm lower on the front. Leanne hasn't got a bike license, and I've spent about £4,000 on this Ruckus, and I don't know if she'll ever ride it, so I might have to get a mate to come along with me, maybe Liam, who's sat over there. Get Liam on it, we'll just go banging around St. Helens on these. We've got the OKO carb on it, the 30mm carb, and that was also from the Ruck shop. A lot of the parts are from the Ruck shop, to be honest. I've bought parts from kind of Steady Garage and the Ruck shop. The guys over in America at the Ruck shop, they just constantly got parts in stock. They ship to the UK within like 3 days via FedEx. I've got nothing but great words to say about the guys out there. We used a big red 30mm intake. Like I said, all of the parts I will put in the description below that's been used on this build. We went with a Hot Lap Japan exhaust, made to order direct on the Hot Lap website. This time we went with a polished back DW wheel. I had the last one powder coated, but I sold it with the full rear end of my of the previous engine that was in here. So, and because the stud pattern is different, so I just got a polished one this time. I'm going to opt for a polished front wheel as well. I'm just trying to find the 10-inch one that will fit the bike. But I'm really happy. I think the best thing about GY6 in this bike was just getting the power. I was restricted to 28 miles an hour on the fuel injected because I got rid of the Polini de-restrictor. It was giving me running issues. It was a pain in the ass. That's why I opted to go for a carb engine. We basically converted this one from fuel injected to a fully carb get engine so we can run a de-restrictor. There's so much more for the carb engines
I can get that to 55 miles per hour really easily, and on the fuel injected there's just not really enough tech to warrant running a fuel injected model, and I wish I'd kind of got a fuel injected one from the start, but I got the bikes that cheap, it doesn't really matter. But if you're going to build one, I'd suggest getting a carb model. Like, I had trucks overtaking me at 60 miles an hour on an expressway, and I'm literally limited, bouncing off a limiter at 28 miles an hour. A lot has gone into this bike, and overall, I think all in, probably about £6,000 spent on this build, from buying the bike, having everything powder coated. I've done a lot of the work myself, shaving the frame. Ended up buying a Ruckus billet stretch kit. We were using the small fast things last time on the Get. That's been switched over to Lilac Ruckus. Obviously, it doesn't fit on this engine. There's just the parts from the Ruckus, the quality is fantastic. So yeah, there's a lot of money's been spent on this bike, but I think for £6,000, all in, start to finish, I've ran a season of it last summer. I probably had about maybe £3,500 in it, 4,000, and then to actually get it GY6 with the exhaust and all of the little bits, I'm probably about 6,000 total build in this bike. So yeah, guys, I appreciate if you've watched the video this far. We've actually got a Skyline build. I've had a Skyline since January this year, and we're going big turbo on that. The Golf, unfortunately, has been sold. It got sold through Level Up giveaways, and I'm basically going to dump a load of money into the Skyline. So yeah, there's going to be another episode where we're finishing off the purple Ruck. We're going to get a new exhaust. We're going to basically try and get as much power out of this bike as possible on a 50cc. So we've got kind of like the best of both worlds. We've got the GY6 150cc and the 49cc Get engine. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.